Continues to weave through here now on Arrow Highway, making another random right, and he's now going, I think that's going to be, yeah, it's going to be westbound on Arrow Highway. Well, excellent point, David. We're not losing daylight yet, but he has the sun in his eyes. And I got to tell you, the haze, the combination of the haze and the sun and the time of day is creating a very tough driving situation. Very, very sunny off his nose. He even made the U-turn there, now going away from the sun. But the driving was very challenging there. It's one of those evenings where if you're driving westbound on any freeway or surface street, it's difficult to see. Anyways, he made that U-turn. He's now going back eastbound on Arrow Highway. You saw about a half a dozen units make the U-turn with him there. They are applying a little more pressure. This is in pursuit mode. They are trying to maintain a safe distance without endangering other motorists. So you can see there are additional units on the opposite side of Arrow Highway. They will all be making a U-turn to proceed and stick with this pursuit. That might be a Pomona police officer right behind him here, and that might be an officer that just happened to be in the area, unless I'm mistaken. He's definitely repeated some moves, and he's traversed some of the same streets, but he hasn't really established a good enough pattern where you can kind of predict what his next move might be. On the contrary, all of these moves, by my estimation, appear to be very ad hoc, very last split-second decisions. Even some of the turns into oncoming lanes of traffic appear to be almost unintentional. He's just desperate to get off of the freeway, especially when he sees the lights and sirens behind him. Now you see he's on Stocker Street. I count about 7 units right behind him, and he's not going terribly fast here. He's still fleeing those officers, but he's not flying by like he was earlier. In fact, what's the speed, Rob? Closer to 40, 50 miles per hour, coming up on another red light, making a right through that red again into oncoming traffic, and now they are going to show some signs of, it certainly looks like they are getting a little more aggressive with him, maintaining a close distance, but, aside from the erratic right there, they are now putting much less distance between them and that pickup truck, which tells me they may be looking for an opportunity either to apply pressure or possibly, if the opportunity presents itself, maybe think about a pit maneuver if he slows down just enough. But right now, it's just too tough and he's just going too fast. Thank you for that. All right, continuing now, another random left turn, this time onto Yorkshire Way, another residential neighborhood, and it might be a little bit tighter for him to squeeze through here, but he's thinking twice about that. He's going to come back out and do another parking lot, actually, cutting through this parking lot. And okay, just cutting through the AutoZone parking lot. He's got officers surrounding him now, weaving through. Oh man, he is really showing, he's just desperate to get away here, right past all of those officers. A number of units coming at him from different angles. Now back onto the opposite side of the street. He's going northbound on the southbound side of Town Avenue. I thought for a second he was maybe going to take the railroad tracks, but he is just going the wrong way, continuing the wrong way. He is intentionally driving the wrong way, and he's encountering much more traffic here as he heads up Town Avenue. There's law enforcement on the northbound side. They're watching him from the opposite side as he continues yet another intersection where he is intentionally sticking with the wrong way. He is going the wrong way on Town Avenue, northbound on the southbound side, with cars heading right in his direction. The worst nightmare here would be a head-on collision, obviously. He's not even going all that slow, to be honest with you, and he is intentionally going the wrong way. And you got a lot more traffic here, a few more cars coming in his direction, really faced with a split-second decision to avoid this pickup truck coming right at them, coming up on Foothill Boulevard. Will he take the turn? Yes, he takes the turn back onto the westbound side of Foothill Boulevard, getting out of the wrong side of the road and now onto the correct lanes of Foothill Boulevard, and picking up a little bit of speed while he's at it. And despite those antics, they were still able to maintain a visual there, and there are police officers still right behind him. But he is really amping things up every time he pulls those erratic moves, comes so close to getting people hurt. Fortunately, we have not seen more injuries associated with this pursuit, but now he might be blocked in. He's probably going to jump into a parking lot, onto the sidewalk, coming up on a Foothill Boulevard, another random right here. This person is extremely, extremely dangerous. If you live in Pomona or know somebody who lives in this neighborhood, the Gary Avenue area around Town Avenue, we are seeing very, very dangerous driving on the part of this pursuit suspect who is refusing to give himself up. Again, to recap with you, they have a suspected murder suspect behind the wheel of this pickup truck, also wanted for assault with a deadly weapon, has already rammed into sheriff's deputies further back in Riverside and has caused a collision in Pomona. And now another random U-turn in the middle of Gary Avenue with officers making the U-turn with him. He's got a lot more officers coming face to face with him, and they are just going to continue to follow from it. Look at this. It's just so dangerous. So dangerous. And once again, he manages to squeeze himself out of that pickle. You can see the number of officers in this neighborhood trying to put themselves in position to take him into custody if and when this comes to an end soon. But in any event, he is now back on the southbound side of Gary Avenue, and man, he is putting so many lives in danger.
Hour 20 fuel, hour 20 fuel.
Look at that. More folks getting out of their car to catch a glimpse of this pursuit. The cell phones are out, and everybody in this area is starting to take notice. And you can see he's picking up a lot more speed. The speed limit here can't be more than 45 miles per hour. He's doing well in excess of 60 miles per hour, stepping on the gas pedal as he approaches some of these intersections where he should be stepping on the brake pedal. 70 miles per hour down Gary Avenue. Continuing southbound Gary Avenue at extreme speed, 60 miles per hour here, refusing to pull over with upwards of a dozen black and whites behind him. We have a combination of agencies, but mainly Riverside County Sheriff's Office in pursuit here with the assistance, it looks like, of Pomona PD. We also have a Riverside County helicopter overhead, and a Riverside County helicopter, and I think we still have a CHP fixed-wing aircraft following from up above as well. Yes, 2 aircraft following this pursuit, and you can see he is continuing to make some random turns through the city of Pomona, now on the northbound side of Pine Street, coming up on the railroad tracks. Slowing down as he approaches Santa Fe Street, making a southbound turn onto Santa Fe, and slowing down considerably. Not sure what's going through his mind, but he is definitely slowing down and maybe, perhaps, running out of gas. I have no reason to believe that this pickup truck has been disabled in any other way, but he may be running on fumes. It certainly looks like he's slowing down to a crawl as he continues down Gary Avenue for about the 5th or 6th time in this pursuit, and you can see those units slowing down with him. Coming up on the left side, it would not surprise me if they give the go-ahead for a pit maneuver. think they could handle it. Cool. Once again, gesturing out the driver's side window. He's got his one hand on the wheel, another hand out the driver's side window, and a female passenger in the passenger seat. It almost looks like he might be puffing on something as he slows down here, but still enough gas to continue the pursuit here. Still southbound on Gary Avenue, just past Ford Avenue, at a much slower clip than we've seen. And one has to wonder just how he plans on ending this, but it is just so dangerous. Yeah, it's one or the other, because I can see no other reason as to why this vehicle would be disabled. So he's either running on fumes, maybe trying to conserve fuel, or maybe, as you mentioned, maybe taking on a little bit of a new posture as the adrenaline comes down a little bit. Still, though, the pressure is on. You can see there are a number of units, more than 10 or 15 units right behind him here. I mean, an incredible amount of law enforcement in this pursuit, several agencies involved, and they will stop at nothing at this point to get this guy off the road. The goal, though, the name of the game, is to bring it to an end as safely as possible. But while we were recording those promos, David, he jumped onto the sidewalk, was on the wrong side of the street for an extended period of time. Even when he had the opportunity to get on the right side of the road, he intentionally was continuing northbound on the southbound side at points and continuing to cut through a number of parking lots at a very, very dangerous clip. So the speeds have come down a little bit, but the driving has been very, very dangerous. It looks like he's smoking on something. He was gesturing out the window once again. Haven't gotten a real clear view of that passenger seat. He's picking up a little more speed, and maybe, I think, something coming out the window once again there. In any event, as you mentioned, David, the possibility of a pit maneuver is a very live possibility, in my opinion, if he slows down a little bit. It's a large Toyota pickup truck, but those are large Chevy Suburbans that are in pursuit of that pickup truck. I think they can overpower the bed of that pickup truck and complete the fishtail if they execute that pit maneuver. If the watch commander gives the go-ahead and they find a patch of roadway where there's nobody else in danger, they may very well give the go-ahead for that pit maneuver. In the meantime, you can see the passenger. It looks like she has put on a red hoodie and is now, well, again, we don't know, quite frankly, whether she's a willing participant or whether she is here against her will. In any event, we know of the driver and the passenger, and we just don't know if there's anybody else behind those tinted windows. A lot more paper or something coming out of the driver's side. Did not appear to be money. It looked like there was something else, a packet of leaflets coming out of the driver's side window as he heads towards Holt Avenue, coming up, or he's on Holt Avenue, just past Town Avenue, slowing down once again. But this has been at least the third or fourth time, David, we've seen debris coming out of that window. Oh, no. Yeah, my heart skips a beat every time he does this. This is another parking lot where there are lots of people. It's a packed parking lot at a 99-cent store, coming right up to the entrance of the store and now coming around here, probably just looking to cut through. But you can't overemphasize the extreme danger. Look at this head-to-head with these law enforcement officers. He's surrounded by law enforcement. They are not going to box him in, but they are going to do everything they can to keep up with him. He is not going to get away. It's very clear that he is just there's way too much backup for this suspect to get away. It's just a matter of time before this comes to an end. You just wonder, how desperate is he? Is he going to end in a crash, or is he going to give up peacefully? I can't see it any other way. Another tight alley, yep. It strikes me, David, how we have just seen a real shift in recent years. The number of people who are joining us online and then deciding to use their cell phones and post on social media, and they look for an opportunity to not necessarily get involved in the pursuit, but where they should be staying inside. We see way too many people trying to find the pursuit and crowd the sidewalks and try and catch a glimpse of this, spectacular event. It's something you don't see every day until it comes through your neighborhood, but you can't overemphasize how dangerous it is to come outside when there is a dangerous driver like this flying through your neighborhood. It's very risky business, and all of those law enforcement officers are just trying to keep the public safe. But with a driver like this, all bets are off. About an hour. Same one, same parking lot. He could have just continued to continue the pursuit, but instead he's intentionally. He is playing Russian roulette with everybody who is walking through this parking lot. It is absolutely a dangerous game of cat and mouse in a crowded shopping center parking lot, as he is not trying to cut through. Instead, he's trying to weave through the maze of cars now coming through a gas station with no intent on stopping here. He's just cutting through, but it is just, you just can't wrap your head around. Oh, look at that, right into the front of that semi-tractor trailer. Took his eyes off the road. The airbags have been deployed, and now this pursuit apparently coming to a dramatic crash ending at San Antonio Avenue here in Pomona. You can see those law enforcement officers with their guns drawn now, that semi-tractor trailer trying to get out of the way. Whether he gets out of the way or tries to block the suspect in, we'll see here. That truck is not going anywhere. You see somebody's feet coming out of the passenger side. Clearly, those airbags have been deployed, and those are known to instantly cause injury in many cases. Those come at you at very extreme speeds. The driver of the tractor trailer exiting the vehicle, and they are now going to execute this felony stop after that crash ending here on San Antonio Avenue. Yeah, the driver, if that driver is conscious right now, he has to think very, very carefully about his next move, because Riverside County Sheriff's Department does not fool around. The passenger, it looks like, is willing to give herself up. She has had enough and is now putting both hands under the airbags, out the window. They're going to instruct her to come out of the vehicle at some point, but the focus is on the driver. And he is now at gunpoint from a number of different directions without any crossfire in the way here. So we can only hope that he gives himself up peacefully. It's worth reiterating, this is a wanted murder suspect who has been involved in this pursuit. Coming to a crash ending here, it looks like his hands and arms are out the window, but he's not showing them. That airbag might be in his way. As you could tell, we're bringing Air 7 HD around to the driver's side of this pickup truck, and we'll be able to get a better glimpse of what's happening inside that driver's seat. But you can see that the airbag is blocking the window. I saw for a split second a hand come around, and we'll see how he proceeds here. What's the cross? Halt. Got it. David, the driver's side door of that Toyota pickup truck popping open now as officers attempt to take that driver into custody after a crash ending to this pursuit at San Antonio Avenue and Holt Avenue in the city of Pomona. Riverside County Sheriff's deputies trying to get the suspect out peacefully. They have him at gunpoint. The airbags have been deployed after the pickup truck slammed into that tractor trailer. Does not appear that anybody in there was injured. The driver walked away unhurt. And now you can see the driver of the pickup truck, that murder suspect, as you mentioned, is now coming out of the vehicle with his hands visible. The passenger also with her hands out the passenger side of the pickup truck. And it looks like this is about to come to a peaceful end, but not without putting many people's lives in danger. David, the driving in this pursuit has been extremely, extremely dangerous. There were several collisions, including at one point he rammed into a sheriff's deputy earlier on in Riverside. But this has been going on for the better part of 2 hours now. A very dangerous driver behind the wheel now coming to an end here in Pomona. He's doing push-ups. He's doing push-ups on the pavement. He's doing push-ups. This guy has, throughout the course of this pursuit, he has been toying with officers at various points, gesturing at officers behind him, throwing debris out the window, and now as this pursuit comes to an end, David, he's now trying to do push-ups on the pavement as he approaches the crosswalk, crawling closer to that SUV near the top of your screen, and I'm telling you, he is messing with the wrong agency. Riverside County Sheriff's Department is not playing games. He has rammed into one of their own vehicles. He is wanted for very serious violent crimes, all alleged at this point, but a very dangerous driver nonetheless. especially in the final minutes there. He was weaving through a 99-cent store parking lot with no regard for anybody's safety, not with the intention of cutting through the parking lot, but literally driving through the maze of cars in the parking lot, trying to, again, toy with those officers at the risk of putting all of those pedestrians and other motorists in danger. Again, just the most recent in a laundry list of offenses that he has committed over the 2-hour course of this pursuit. Now you see the passenger with that door open, and she appears to be complying. They are now instructing her to exit the vehicle very slowly with her hands up. They are going to keep a close eye on those hands and arms as she squeezes out of there. Again, as that pickup truck slammed into the tractor trailer, the airbags were deployed. Definitely stunned both of them, but it does look like after a dramatic and wild police chase, it does look like this is, yeah. Absolutely, an extensive crime scene is going to be set up here. Now you see the fire department pulling into position, making sure everybody's okay. By my estimation, it does not appear that there was anybody hurt except for potentially the suspects themselves. And so that is the reason for the ambulance. You see there entering the frame near the top of your screen. There is a chance that the suspect was hurt, perhaps by the airbag, which is in and of itself dangerous, although they do save lives when they are deployed. They are extremely dangerous, and you can see right there the suspect being treated, likely heading to the hospital before ending up in a Riverside County jail later this evening. Uh-oh. Where to? Where to? Whittier. Okay. Off to Whittier. We're clear. I don't know. I think they're just spectators. I'm ready to go to Whittier, unless we're. I say we go to Whittier.